First of all, I'm not here to be judged. I just need to vent. I, 30F, have been married to my husband, 31M, for 10 years. In the beginning, our relationship and marriage went very well. I felt very happy and appreciated. However, some things have changed. For starters, we stopped having sex about 4 years ago. From then on, we rarely did, and it made me think I wasn't enough for him. I was frustrated, sad, and angry. I thought I wasn't enough for my husband, and we were always fighting about it. I worked most of my time, and one day I just gave in. I had sex with my coworker, and I felt happy, appreciated, and wanted, but of course I felt guilty. I didn't understand why I did it, but I ended up meeting more with this coworker, and I can say that we had an emotional affair for about 2 years. In that time, I became pregnant with my son, who is currently 2 years old. When I found this out, I immediately considered divorcing my husband and maybe moving in with my coworker since he was the father. I was in an internal struggle about whether to divorce my husband or stay with him, since he knew nothing about it. What I decided to do was cut off contact with my coworker. I never told my husband that this happened, and to this day, I secretly let my coworker see my son if my husband is not home, and this leaves me with a feeling of guilt. I don't know what to do. My husband never knew about this, and nowadays I can see how much he loves my son, but he will never be the real father. My son's real father lives 2 hours away from my house, and I'm afraid if my husband finds out, I know what I did was a bad thing, but I can't tell my husband under any circumstances. I can't lose him. Not now. I understand that this is a challenging situation for you. Honesty is vital in maintaining a healthy relationship, and it's crucial to consider the long-term consequences of keeping this secret. Having an open and honest conversation with your husband about your past affair and the child you share with someone else is necessary to move forward. This conversation should be approached with compassion and understanding, allowing both of you to express your feelings and thoughts openly. Telling your husband about your past affair and the existence of your child with someone else will undoubtedly be painful and challenging. But it is a necessary step to move forward. While the hope may be to rebuild trust may not be possible anymore, it's also essential to acknowledge that your husband might choose a different path once he knows the truth. Seeking the guidance of a therapist or counselor can help facilitate this difficult conversation and provide support to both you and your husband during this challenging time. Ultimately, the honesty shared in this conversation may lead to a decision to part ways, and it's important to respect your husband's choices and wishes as you both move forward separately. Oh wow, when karma comes, you'll know why. Please leave your husband. You already ruined his life. Don't ruin it anymore. It really doesn't matter if you don't want to lose him. You wanted to cheat now. Accept the consequences. Go be with your coworker so your husband can go find someone who won't betray his trust. He's gonna know. It might be theoretically possible that he doesn't find out, but considering that sometimes you show the kid to the real father, sooner or later the kid will get it, or the real father will give him hints, then the father will know. Up to you to determine how, or let it happen. I really don't get how you let pregnancy happen though. You do know that unprotected sex leads to pregnancy, right? This is so sad and selfish. Your husband deserves to know. This will come back and bite you. Both your son and husband will end up being really angry with you for lying to them for years. Better hope your kid never decides to get themselves a 23andMe kit with the family tree search option. What you should have done was divorce your husband before you ever started your affair. Now instead, you've carried on a lie for years, and when he eventually finds out, it will destroy him. You have willingly and permanently damaged a man you supposedly loved. You also better hope that your child never needs family medical history from his father's side. Gets to be really important for some people later in life, especially with conditions that are genetic in nature like heart problems. And for what it's worth, you've already lost him. It just hasn't hit yet. Wow, I'm gonna bet in the husband making more money than the co-worker, such noble reasons to not leaving. Hopefully the kid someday will mention mom's friends that comes to play to dad, and this will end as it should. You divorce, and he's suing the guy for child support, and hopefully he will keep the kid as if you act like this. You can't be that good of a mother. There are 3 victims here. You are not one of them. Again, you say you don't want to be judged, but you will be. At least you know how crappy you were I get. We all crave attention, love, and affection. If you both didn't have sex for 4 years and you get pregnant, your husband isn't stupid. He probably too scared to leave you. Come clean with him. The boy has the right to know who his bio-dad is. What if there is health problems later on? Your husband can't help us. She's not bio-dad and bio-dad is long gone. What if your son needs a kidney ECT or needs a record or history of family illnesses, you won't be able to be truly honest cause of your affair. Come clean, divorce your husband, contact Biodad, simple. If you put your husband's name on the birth certificate, then you have something very wrong with you. Again, every child deserves to know who their parent is, and the right to a safe and loving home. I can tell your home isn't loving. So me, 30F, and my husband, 39M, have been together for almost 9 years, and he only recently just started working out of town a couple hours from me. Since he's been working out of town, he seems pretty distant on phone calls, hardly ever has anything to say to me, and when we're supposed to meet online to game for the night or afternoon, he always takes a lot longer to get online than he says. Like example, today he got home at 12:15 and called me. He knew I had an apt at 2 o'clock, but he only contacted me to get online at 1:20 after he said he'd only be 20 minutes for a shower. I told him I didn't have time to do anything until after my apt, which only usually takes 45 minutes, but I couldn't get a hold of him for 2 hours. He said he napped and didn't check his phone, then went to the store. I said that's fine. But then he took forever to game with me again. I told him my app was canceled and rescheduled for 5, and then he didn't call me until 4:30. It seems like he doesn't actually care to talk to me at the end of the day when he comes home, and he'd rather hang out with his brother, roommate. I also caught him talking to his ex-girlfriend. March had confronted him about a friend suggestion on Facebook, and he admitted it was his ex, and she added him in December of last year, which was during a rough patch of our relationship. She lives in the city he now works in, and he now wants to move there. Please give me opinions. What's going on with him? Is he cheating on me? Is he fading from me with distance? Advice, please. I'm not in a position to definitively say whether your husband is cheating on you or what his intentions are, but I can offer some advice on how to address the concerns you've raised. 1. Open communication. Initiate a candid conversation with your husband about your concerns regarding his behavior since he started working out of town. Clearly express how his distant phone calls and delayed online meetups are affecting you emotionally. Allow him to share his perspective and any worries he might have about his new work situation. Effective communication is vital for resolving relationship issues. 2. Trust and boundaries. Address trust issues, such as his communication with an ex-girlfriend, in a calm and non-accusatory manner. Define clear boundaries that both of you are comfortable with regarding interactions with past partners. Trust forms the foundation of a healthy relationship, and it's important to establish mutual expectations. 3. Seek professional help. If your communication doesn't lead to improvements or deeper issues persist, consider seeking assistance from a relationship counselor or therapist. They provide a neutral space for both of you to discuss concerns, learn effective communication strategies, and work on strengthening your relationship. 4. Self-care and evaluation. While working on your relationship, prioritize self-care. Lean on your support network of friends and family for emotional support. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment to maintain your well-being. Reflect on the relationship and consider whether it aligns with your long-term goals and happiness. Ultimately, the resolution of these issues will depend on both partners' willingness to address them openly and collaboratively. Get a divorce. Seriously, people, come on. This is what I don't get. You see the signs, you feel your relationship is not the same, and you see him disconnecting, yet you don't know what you should do. He does not love you. Someone who actually and genuinely loved you would miss you, would want to spend time with you after being away from you. Why do you want to keep up with someone who is checked out and likes someone else? Get a divorce. Block him, and leave. You have been suspecting for 2 years by looking at previous posts. Why are you still there? Honestly, I'm in a bad spot right now. It's really terrible. I would like to have a lot of evidence and be sure so I feel no guilt if it came down to leaving him. You have no relationship without trust. That is all the reasons you need to leave. No guilt. He is not providing you a reason to trust. This is on him. Why would feel guilty leaving him when he clearly didn't feel so by cheating on you? Why not just surprise him with a visit? He is hours away from you and on his own. You have been together for 9 years, which basically seems the only guy you have ever been with. The only way to know for sure is to ask him what is going on, or just show up without telling him. It would make sense if he wants to move closer to his job, but are you willing to do that move? I've asked him about it and he just brushes it off like there's nothing wrong, but I've noticed the change, so do a surprise visit. It really shouldn't be a problem if you guys have been together for 9 years. He's now in a relationship with his ex. Sorry. You can demand he cut contact with her and block her, but it won't stop them when he travels. You have two options in my opinion. Simply tell him you're not a doormat and won't be disrespected like this. Then, file for divorce. Tell him if he wants to fix this marriage, he needs to find a new job that doesn't require travel. I'm sure others will have other, and maybe better, suggestions. You have to do what is right for you. All I'm saying is please don't be like a lot of other posters. Don't just accept it, submit, be spineless. You get the drift. Go with your gut. Something is off. Worldwide comments of the day. Story 1. It's always comical when cheaters think they have a chance to fix their relationships, even though it's long since been beyond repair. Revenge affairs don't make any sense. If someone is willing to cheat on you, how is your cheating on them going to make them feel bad? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.